Hey guys, thanks for listening to Kinda Dating, the comedy dating podcast, where influential guests and I break down the dating world and try to figure out why the fuck do we all have commitment issues? Today's topic is dating trends for 2025. Let's do this. Hello, friends. How's it going? I'm Natasha, Chandel. You're listening to Kinda Dating. Guys, I have a great guest with me today. We've been trying to collab for a while now.
An year.
It's literally been a year. Okay, it was my fault because I
No,
had a
not at
fucking
all.
wedding happening and I was all over the place. I was like, next weekend, and then next
Yes.
weekend came and it never happened.
Absolutely.
But this great voice that you hear, his name, he's an actor and influencer. He goes by Blonde Desi also, but I know him as SHAYAN KRISHNA.
Thank you so much, Natasha, for having me.
Welcome
it's
to
an honor
the-
to be in your amazing, famous podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you
No,
here.
Thank you so much.
So this is our first time meeting, though, officially. And I feel like I know about you from social media, but I don't know you. So just for our listeners, okay, guys, you can't see him. I'm going to call out the obvious, right? You go by Blonde Desi because
Blonde
you're
Desi.
a white guy who, or a seemingly white guy
Yes.
who is Desi.
Correct.
Right? South Asian. So can you tell us about you?
Absolutely. So actually, I came to America when I was a teenager, actually. And so my ancestry and my cultural background is very unique and very surprising for some people because my half family is from Pakistan and half his family is from India. But when it comes to my ancestry, they are from England. And people ask me, like, why do I have blonde hair? It's because of my ancestry, actually, because my great grandfather and all of my ancestry, they were actually blonde from British. And I am actually, like Anglo-Indian peoples,
Yeah.
who has ancestry with British. So I am that.
I mean, there are two types of Anglo-Indians,
Yes.
right? Or Anglo-South Asians, because it's like the Anglos that I know are still like they're like Indian, like brown,
Yeah.
but they're Catholic.
Correct.
And so you're talking like you're legit Anglo-Indian,
Anglo-Indian,
like somebody from. So when was your family like part of the British Raj?
Okay, God.
It's okay if you are. I won't hate you for it.
Actually, I'm not sure actually, but yeah, my family was mixed with British and Indians both, so it was like that.
Wow.
Yep.
And you were born and raised, you said Pakistan?
I was born in Pakistan, Karachi.
And I mean, the languages are basically the same.
Urdu, Hindi, yeah.
Yeah, so you
Yes,
speak both.
Urdu, Hindi, both, of course.
Yeah. Which is so funny because I was just like, you get probably the like, oh, you are seemingly white and you
Yeah.
speak Indian, or sorry, I can't believe I said that. You
Yeah.
speak Hindi.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I'm Indian and everybody thinks I'm Spanish and
Oh, yeah.
thinks that or I'm Mexican, I
Yeah,
speak
yeah.
Spanish. So guys, there's a billion of us. This is what I'm
Billions.
always telling
Like
people.
Indian culture is like so diverse. You will find every color person there. Indians ancestry is like so big. Like if you go to a northern part, you would find a different kind of people. If you go to a southern part, you will find a total different kind of people. But my ancestors and even my half of family are still from Uttar Pradesh, from India, Muradabad. So yeah.
Yeah, it's something I'm always telling people. Like I have friends who have green eyes and
Yes.
light brown hair. I have friends that are because I'm Sindhi, so
Me too. I'm also Sindhi.
You're Sindhi?
I am Sindhi. I was born in Karachi, Sindh.
Oh, well, I was wondering,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
So my grandmother, she's from Lahore.
Lahore, yeah.
And but then and they migrated to Bombay after partition, but they are, Sindhis are known for also being very light skinned.
Yes.
And like one of my best friends, she has like porcelain
Mhm.
white skin.
Mhm.
And like you could never tell.
Yeah.
So I'm always just trying to tell people, I'm like,
Yeah.
we're like black as night and we're like porcelain white.
Yes.
It's a spectrum. There's a billion of us.
My ancestry is from like actually Sindhi Hindus, like all of those old Hindu civilizations and all. So my ancestry are those kinds of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you watch that show? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's escaping me right now. the new one with Shekhar Kapoor's show on Netflix. The where they're the Hira Mandi.
Hira Mandi, yeah, I've seen. I've not seen the whole thing, but yeah, I've seen a little bit.
Because I feel like that's also set in Pakistan and
I think
in
so. It
like
was Lahore.
pre-partition times. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that helps me a little bit because I was always very curious. I was like, I'm just gonna ask him
whoever
straight.
Googles me, it's like a very because for me living in Pakistan, being a blonde was never easy. So like whenever they Google about me, they get a whole history of my whole tragic things which happened to me in Pakistan.
Wait, what happened?
I've seen it in like many podcasts, and when this happened, it came on all the news channels as well. So whenever they Google my name, it will appear. So I was actually kidnapped at the age of 3. Yeah. Because because of my blonde hair, of course, and our ties with the because my half family was from India and half from Pakistan, so you can imagine what could have happened to us. So they thought that me and my family are from like Indian agents and whatever they say, in Pakistan. And because we were also Hindus, we are practicing Hindus. And for me, like as a Sindhi Hindu, we know what happens there. So it's like a very long story, very tragic story. And
I'm so
multiple things happened.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
Are you okay
Oh, yeah,
now?
I'm perfectly. America is a safe country. So,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and your family's okay?
Everyone is here, so that's a good thing.
Good. Well, I'm very sorry that
No,
happened. So now I'm going to ask you like real serious questions.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
Right? Like
I'm ready.
single or in a relationship. What the fuck, Cheyenne? You set the tone so crazy. I don't know how to go to that.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm
gonna do this.
Yeah, sure.
You have my love.
Thank you so much.
So tell me, this is a dating podcast, of course. So we ask everybody the same question: single or in a relationship?
Currently happily single.
Okay.
Happily, very, very, very happily.
Very, very happily?
Very happily.
You're like, that means not looking, not
very
into
happily.
it.
See, like dating in Los Angeles, California, I would never suggest anyone to do that. Like, never.
What's been the experience?
No, like, see, I am a very culturally connected person, as you can see from my Instagram and all. I'm a very culturally connected person. And even though I'm a Gen Z myself, but my thinking is very, what you call, old fashioned, like very old fashioned. So I don't.
In what way?
I don't believe in the hookup culture and the situationships and all that.
That's a good thing.
I don't believe in that. And all the Gen Zs, especially in Los Angeles, they are very much into it, very much.
Yeah.
But I try to stay away from those things.
Yeah. No, that's a good thing. I mean, look, I think that there's still lots of people who don't want that. So it's just a matter of like finding those people or date older.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because there's a bunch of good millennial women who are like, I don't want to hook up anymore. I just want something serious.
Yeah, I don't want to take anyone's name or anything, but my ex was 8 years older than me. So.
Nice. I like it. He's into cougs. He's into cougars.
Yeah.
Cheyenne, we're going to make that go viral, okay?
Yeah.
Shayan Krishna is into cougars.
Another controversy loading.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you date, have you found that people like, I don't know what your experience was like being a South Asian in America. Because for me, it was always a little harder because like, even though I'm very assimilated, I've grown up in North America, I still have a lot of like my cultural, like Indian values. And I found it hard to relate to some like just strictly American people, like people who weren't as comfortable with other cultures. So I ended up marrying somebody who was from another culture because like it was like he at least understood other cultures.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
But what has been sort of your experience?
And okay, you're reminding me of something very, what do you call it? Very funny actually. One of there is a dating website called Jeevan Sathi.
Yes.
Guys,
that's like that. Jeevan Sathi is like my like a lifelong soulmate.com. Okay, that's what that is.
So one of my Rocky sister,
yeah,
she made an account of me, and I was thinking she was just joking. She made my account on Jeevan Sathi, and she was like, "Shan, I made your account," and I thought she's just like messing with me. And she actually made it. After a couple of days, I started receiving messages on Instagram from random people. Shan, are you on Jeevan Satya? Like, I think like people are just making fun of me or they're something like trolling me or something. But then I actually saw it and there was an account on my name on
Oh my
jeevansati.com
gosh.
and total different age. Everything was totally different. I was like, okay, so I have never used any dating app, like never in my whole life.
Yeah.
And that was a very
Well, you have
shocking moment.
Instagram and you're an Instagram influencer. It's basically a dating app.
Yeah, it has become a dating app, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has happened to me.
And
Jeevan
so do people get thrown when they meet you? Like, do you date mostly South Asians or mixed? Because, and then do the mixed people who are not South Asian get thrown?
Yet I have only dated 2 girls and both were South Asians
Oh.
actually. So yeah, no
'Cause you're a
one
baby.
outside of the culture. No. Like I'm not against of it. Okay,
Yeah,
guys?
I get
I'm
it.
not against of it, but someone like me, I'm very like culturally connected, as I said.
Yeah.
So I prefer someone who understands my culture, who is in the same culture. I prefer those.
Yeah,
ones,
yeah, totally. Well, today's episode, guys, is about dating trends of 2025. We have so many to get through, so I'm going to jump in.
Yes.
But I don't know if you know this, but every year, sort of these dating apps, they put out their annual trends list, right before the new year of what's happened and what will be happening. So Bumble put out its recent trends list, and it said in 2024, according to Bumble, people were rejecting perfection, they were discarding outdated dating timelines, and valuing emotional vulnerability and shared values. Did you experience that in 2024?
2024 was a very crazy year. And okay, I have moved to LA in 2022 actually.
Oh, so really, really recent.
Very recent, yeah. And in LA, I think, as I said, California is very different. Like, not judging everyone, okay? Not judging anyone. But I have seen people having a different boyfriend or girlfriend in the same day after 1 week. Boyfriend or girlfriend
They date a lot.
changed. And 1 week, like one of my friend actually, she was dating a guy and she was like, oh, there, I found my soulmate and everything. After 1 week, she was with another person. So this is very common. I'm not against of it. Like people have different choices, but in LA, it's so common. Like LA is dating, and like I was seeing some Instagram surveys, and there was a survey which said LA is the worst city to date. Did you saw that?
Really? No, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
it was a survey which came so viral like a couple of months ago, and I think this is 100% true.
Yeah.
100%.
It's interesting because, I mean, of course, I'm sure things have changed now, even than a few years ago. But like, I used to live in New York, and I thought New York dating was way worse than LA dating. Because in LA, I feel like they at least like feign interest, like they lie to your face a little bit,
Absolutely.
where New York, they won't even. You went on a date there, and a guy would pick a spot like directly in front of his house. You know what I mean? Like, so there's the least amount of effort.
Yeah.
And then he's hoping you come home with
Oh,
him.
yeah.
So it's
Crazy.
right in front.
Crazy.
And like there was no chivalry of even meeting somebody halfway, at least in my experience in LA. Like they would take you for dinner.
Yeah.
Even in New York, they don't even do that. It's like snacks.
In LA, also people lies about what they do. Like there was a funny video.
Yeah, that's for sure.
There was a funny video. There was a guy who was saying, I transfer media, something like that. And that guy was throwing newspapers.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I do have a joke in my stand-up
Yeah.
about this where I say, oh, I miss dating because like in LA, because I miss dating like the hot CEO of his own life, which just meant unemployed actor.
Yeah.
Because that's what it always was in LA. So I get it. But they say that expectations are changing. So they interviewed a bunch of people, and thousands, they say, and nearly 2 in 3 women, so 64% of women respondents, say that they're getting clearer about what they want and need and are refusing to settle for less. Now, that's the Bumble trends.
Bumble trends, okay.
According to Tinder, in 2024, they say, I'm curious, you're not on dating profiles, but
not.
let's see if any of these are your interests. They say the biggest mentions in bios were pickleball.
Okay.
Does that track?
No.
Very popular news sport. I don't know if it's a fucking sport, but whatever. Freak.
Okay.
I feel like that tracks to
Haha.
me. Deserve was in people's bio. So like, I deserve this, you know, which also kind of
Deserve.
track. And this is a weird one, backpack.
What is backpack?
Wasn't sure if they meant maybe like backpack traveling or they meant like a backpack. I don't know, but that was mentioned in a lot of people's bios. They said in 2024 on Tinder, people were being loud and proud about what they want. Did you see the trend? I want a guy in finance, 6 feet.
Oh yeah,
blah,
oh
blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah.
yeah. The only thing which looks very mature in these words was like deserve. I
Yeah.
think this is the most mature. But otherwise, I don't think any other word was a mature by it.
This is true. I'm curious what you think about this being Desi. 43% said astrology would influence their decisions.
Astrology. Oh, I believe in astrology, absolutely,
Yeah.
and I think
Does it
astrology.
surprise you that 43% of Americans say that
You know
it'll
that
influence their...
surprises me because Gen Z peoples are coming towards astrology. That's one of the most surprising things for
Yeah.
me. Like because astrology, I think it's the most oldest education, something like that. I
Yeah,
was reading.
it's like a
Yeah,
ancient
and
science.
it's very shocking for me to see like Gen Z people's coming to it. It's like
Yeah.
super shocking. Like, okay, I hope because I'm a Gen Z, but I'm very much against of the Gen Z culture, which is why I hope that Gen Z people's like what they're saying, they believe in astrology, they should apply those astrology as well. That's what I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah,
You know,
it's true.
they shouldn't be only talking about that.
I don't know if you know this, but my dad is a Vedic
Oh
astrologer.
wow,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah,
nice,
for like
nice.
30 years.
Oh,
So
that's
I
awesome.
find it funny that people are into astrology because growing up, I hated it so much,
Mhm.
you know, because it's hard enough to find somebody you like and you get along with and have same values
Yeah,
and all those things. And then it was like, your horoscope needed to match. And I was like,
yeah.
go fuck yourself.
You know, in India, it's called Kundli, right?
Yeah, Kundli.
Kundli, and like in India and like other South Asian countries as well, they do not marry anyone without seeing their Kundli, which I kind of agree as well because
Yeah, now I get it.
see, I am a Gen Z myself, but if I be very honest with you, people would disagree with me on that. But I don't believe on love marriage. I believe in arranged marriages because arranged marriages are it stays longer. That's what I personally believe. I'm not talking about all like not those kind of marriages, which happens in Afghanistan and Pakistan where they like see the bride's or groom's face on the wedding night. Not like that. But like arrangement in the sense like your parents find something for you and then you guys talk and understand each other. It's like those kind of marriages I believe works most.
So are you planning on doing that yourself? What's your deal?
Actually, yes. I
Yeah.
prefer doing arranged marriage. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Because, yes, I think that there's a lot of misconception of arranged marriages for
Yes.
sure. Because
Arranged marriage is not about like if parents say marry that, marry that. No, this is not
Yes.
arranged. Arranged marriage is like because see, there is a one saying in India and South Asian countries, which is like you don't marry one person, you marry a whole family.
Yes.
And that's the one thing I strongly believe whenever I date someone.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think like it's not as much in the culture in America because it's less of a family culture.
absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
I think for South Asians, family is such a big part of our culture. It's like
Yes.
they both tend to mix a
Mixed
lot.
together, yeah.
But I think, yes, I think the big misconception is people think like somebody's holding a gun to your head and they're going to make you marry
No,
somebody.
no.
Like back in the day in the villages, maybe they do that or they still do that, but it's very rare. It's usually like two families. This is what I liken it to: Pride and Prejudice. That was an arranged marriage, right? It was like two families who meet and they go, hey, this person's really good for you. See if there's courtship. Yes, I think the part about arranged marriage that people don't get is like, ideally, they're hoping your timeline is shorter. They're not letting you date for like years at a time
Yes.
before you get married. It's like, hey, within 6 months, like figure it out. Like, do
Figure
you
it
like
out,
each
yeah.
other or don't like each other?
Because another thing is like parents knows their child very well. So parents knows like what to find for a child. That's what
Yeah, I mean, that part I don't
like,
agree. Here's what I do agree with,
Yeah.
okay? I don't know if you saw, I have a video I just posted like a few days ago, a dancing video where I said white parents versus Indian parents on love. And I said white parents' focus is like, marry someone you love. And Indian parents are like, make sure he has a good job. He looks decent. He went to a good school. His family has no medical history. You guys get along okay.
Yeah.
all the things, and then your horoscope
Also,
matches.
there's one thing which I saw in Pakistan, which is very, very, very I'm against of. It's like all the stereotypes, like in Pakistan, it still happens. There is a phrase in Urdu or Hindi, I'll say like, Gora rang ho to shadi karo, which means like if you are,
If he's white,
if the other girl or, if especially it happens for girls, which I feel very bad that, okay, I don't know how to say it, it's very tragic, but I'll say it anyway. There are some parents who forces their daughters to use specific kind of creams to get
Oh
well.
yeah,
It's so traumatizing for me. Like, how can you say something like that to your
yeah,
own daughter
yeah. That's
only to get married? This is
it's rough for sure, guys.
it's
That's
this
not what
is
we're talking about
yeah.
though when it comes to arranged
But it
marriages.
still happens in a
Oh,
country like Pakistan.
totally.
It
Oh
still
no,
happens.
even in India it
Yeah,
happens. I think in a lot of Asian countries,
it
like we're
happens. Yeah.
we're going to Korea and stuff, and they
And it's
have
so
like an
common for them.
obsession
It's so
with.
they'll say it like nothing. Like, oh, that girl is
But I
not
think it's like this obsession in general with the
white color.
colonialization,
Yeah.
right? Of like you internalize the aggressor. You looked at them and you thought, "Oh my God, they must be better than me." And then this idea that the richer people stayed inside, so you want to give people this perception that you're rich, but it's horrific to do. So don't do it.
Yeah. Don't.
When you become parents, people
Don't.
listening. But yes, there's so here's one of the dating trends for 2025. I'm curious what you think as the
I'm
resident
excited
Gen
because I've
Zer.
never used dating apps, so I'm super
Yeah.
excited.
So this is what it says. It says romance is making a comeback. So what they're specifically talking about is micromance. So they're saying, I don't know if you know this, but rom-coms and romance is kind of making a comeback with, I don't know if you know the show Nobody Wants This on
I've heard of
Netflix.
it, yeah.
The Anyone But You with Sydney
Uh-huh.
Sweeney. So the rom-com is back, which is like a big thing because it was dead for a long time. And they're saying that people want micromance, which means they want small things to show that you care. So things like sending memes, sending somebody your favorite playlist on Spotify.
That's cute. I like
Yeah.
it.
What do you think of that in terms of romance?
I think this is a kind of romance, I would say, like this matching similarities and all these things. I think this is very important, and this is, I think, very cute as well. If actually people applies it only then.
Yes, I think though that it's more important than the big gestures to me. Like when somebody thinks of like these little thoughtful things, it like builds a lot more connection with somebody than the like big gesture, in my opinion, right?
100%
Because I feel
agree.
like those big gestures sometimes are like love bombing somebody.
Fake, yeah.
Like they're just doing it to get you.
Get you, yeah.
But it's hard to maintain. Now I'm going to show you how old I am because when we were kids and like a teenager and a boy liked you, they would make you a mixtape. That was like we had cassette tapes and people would go on the radio and they would record like the music that they liked and create a playlist for you. That was like when I was like 14. And that's how you knew like somebody liked you because they'd make you a playlist.
Yes.
So it's funny to me because that's like the Spotify playlist now. Because people are like creating playlists for people and sharing it.
And even in South Asian countries, because they are not, especially in Pakistan, I can tell. India is very modern, but in Pakistan, there is no such thing as dating, honestly.
Oh, really? At all?
Like, if you go to like some part, like very rare, it's not dating. It's like, if you're engaged, then you can meet each other. But majority, like 95% in Pakistani areas, you only can meet each other. Like you can meet with parents, of course, but you can only go on dates and everything if you're married or at least you're engaged. Otherwise, no. And you know how
it's still like colonial England in that way, right? Like we watched Bridgerton and they weren't allowed to go on dates. Like they have to be like a person has to chaperone them, an adult.
In Pakistan, they dated like, like if a girl is on the other roof, the boy is on the other, all that filmy romance.
Wow.
Like it's very common in Pakistan.
Super far. They're like, make sure there is distance.
No one there.
That's crazy. I mean, and that, then you must have to have like romance in other ways, right? Like writing little letters or poems or stuff like that. I actually like that people are into small gestures because I think it's harder to maintain small gestures of love or caring for somebody than the big ones.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree.
Like Luis, who's my husband, he still to this day, he'll leave me like little notes
That's cute.
randomly around the house. And I'm like, and sometimes I totally miss it because I'm not paying attention.
Oh
and
my
he's
God.
like, did you look? And I'm like, oh, oopsie. And I'm like, so cute.
That's
And I
cute,
store them
yeah.
all. So I get it, guys. And I think that shows that somebody is caring about you and thinking of you in the off time. So that's a good one. I hope that continues. They say there's a rise in micro communities. So it says for 1 in 2 women, 50% surveyed, being true to themselves while dating means leaning into their passions and interests. In fact, half, 49% of Gen Z singles surveyed agree that geeking out on something together is a form of intimacy. So it's this idea of like having shared interests with somebody. So like a book club, run clubs, bike clubs, and people are trying to find like smaller communities so that they can meet like-minded people.
That's good. I agree with that, yeah.
Do you have like certain passions that you're like into?
I love acting. I love politics. So these are the.
What are you going to find a politics group? Your whole thing is going to be a debate.
One thing I want to confess here that I am into like more, political women who are like very, very bold and very, brave.
Yeah.
So I am like, I can never date someone who is like very shy. I don't like, who is very like brave and, ready to not fight, not physical fight, but
Yeah, but debate.
Debate, yeah.
I like that because
who knows how to fight for her rights. That's important.
Yeah. I'm sure you know this. I'm a very opinionated person, especially about politics or whatever, but I'm very respectful. I know you and I have
different.
Yeah.
Totally different.
We have completely differing beliefs, but I don't care.
Yes,
it's like it doesn't bother me at all. And so, but I personally always appreciate people who have a point of view. I find indifference to be the least attractive quality ever.
Absolutely. I have worked in United Nations as well, and there I gave a speech about why youth should come into politics. I think there's a very big need of youth in the politics.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. But I like the micro communities thing. So I told you we've done this podcast for a long time. One of our very first episodes, guys, was with an actor named James Kyson. He was in a show called Heroes. Great show, guys. Oh my God, watch it. It's so awesome. He said something that was probably one of the best advice, like in general. He said, the best dating app is doing things that you love. And it's so true because like one of the best things that like Luis and I have, like we have very separate interests too. He's into techno music. I'm not. I'm into hip hop and R&B, But we also love like superhero movies. We love Comic-Cons. We love Star Wars. We love all that stuff. So if you look around our house, it's like all that kind of shit everywhere, And so we like going to those kinds of events together, and we love watching those kinds of movies together. And so there is like a commonality, even though it's not everything. So I like this idea that people are finding things that they love. Like I do dating coaching, and one of my girls, she is into board games. And so I was like, go to those board game parties and like meet people there, because then you have somebody who will want to play board games with you.
Absolutely.
At the very least, you'll make a friend.
Also, like, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe like all the dating apps, they are meant to be keep using. Because dating apps would never like okay, if you find someone, go and marry. Dating apps would never do that because they will lose the subscription, So that's another reason why I don't believe in dating apps.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Luis and I met on a dating app.
Oh wow, okay.
But that said, I before that wasn't on them like I've said 2 to 3 weeks ever in my whole life have I been on like an app. And I do think it's like how you use technology. I was very like, oh, I'm gonna go there and make this shit. Like I don't have time to waste of so I knew the algorithm. I know the
Okay.
tricks though, guys. So
Oh, wow, that's
for
so.
sure, like I know how to use it. Where if you swipe on anybody that, like every time you swipe, you're teaching the algorithm.
That you like everyone.
Yeah. So for guys especially, they're swiping on everybody.
Oh, I've seen all
right?
of my friends, all
Yeah.
of my guy friends do that.
Yeah,
I've seen
it's a
them.
numbers game. So they're just doing that, but then you're not teaching it what you like. And for me, I was very specific about what I
Okay,
like.
that's good.
So he was my third match.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Yeah. So,
Ooh.
but every time else, I met people IRL. So that's actually one of the things that they're saying is one of the trends. So it's not just about apps anymore. So one of the trends is Gen Z and young people are trying to get off apps and meet people IRL. I'm so curious what you think about this. They're also using AI to help with like messaging, like what their messages will be, like DMing somebody on an app and building your profile. So Tinder already has it. Tinder
AI should be banned. One line answer: AI should be banned.
Yeah,
because
across
AI,
the board.
not in everything, but AI is like teaching humans to be dull, to not do anything. That's one thing. But when it comes to dating specifically, I believe like AI cannot tell who you are. You should tell yourself who you are. If you're taking the help of AI, you would never be able to express yourself to the other person, and it could happen in worse results after that. So
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of
that's the
AI.
part that I feel very conflicted about because I see the help it can give people, right? Like Tinder is using AI to help people figure out what pictures are good and not good. So maybe that's helpful. But I actually don't agree with like using AI to message people
Absolutely,
because
yeah.
it's like another form of catfishing, right?
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, you're going to talk this way on the apps. And then the second they meet you, they're going to be like, what, you don't know how to string two sentences together.
Yeah.
So who the fuck was this? Right? Like at work emails now, everybody sounds the same.
Absolutely.
Because everybody is using ChatGPT to write their emails.
Yeah.
Everybody sounds the same.
Absolutely.
And because I'm a writer, I never do that. I just write my own. And so I have like tons of personality. I'm like, yay, woo wee. Like I do all kinds of work emails because I'm just like, have a fucking personality.
That's
But
awesome.
and that's the part with AI. I'm like, I like that it's giving people confidence, but I don't like that nobody's gonna be themselves. So like how do you find that authenticity?
Exactly, yeah.
But like there's gonna be an Indian guy who's like the head of AI now for Trump, the advisor.
Oh, Kesh Patel.
No, Sriram Krishna.
Oh, Sriram Krishna. Oh, yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a whole little video about that.
By the way, I have met Kesh Patel. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How is he?
It was not a long meeting. We just shared a couple of things about India and Hinduism. That's it. Nothing political stuff.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, another one, I think this is something you might actually be into.
Okay.
So, guys, one of the other dating trends for 2025 is future proofing. So people are now focusing on long-term compatibility. So it says 59% of people want emotional stability and are asking questions in advance. So like, what are people's plans for the future and things like that maybe they didn't do before?
Yeah. There is a difference between writing on a dating app that I'm looking for a long-term relationship and be applying that. There's a very big difference in that. But at the same time, I agree on that. Like, you should be straightforward. The first question should be, what are you looking for? Exactly. Nothing like, hi, no. What are you looking for?
You're like, forget even hello.
Forget that, yeah.
Forget even saying hello and treating them like a human.
What
You're
are
like,
you looking for? Tell me honestly. That's it. That's it. That should be it.
That's hilarious. I think a hi is okay.
Okay, yeah, you can say hi, guys.
It's okay to say hi. But it's funny because, again, coming back to that video I posted, this dance video, it's gotten a ton of comments because it shows the American view of love versus the Indian view of love, right? And the Indian view of love, I used to hate. when I was young. I
Mhm.
fought my parents about it. I was like, you don't love each other, and that's why you don't believe
my
in
God.
love.
Oh my
You know,
God.
I was an asshole. But now I realize as you get older and doing 300 episodes of this podcast, having a ton of therapists on, everybody says love is not enough.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that, and I hope people ask more questions of
Mm.
the other person, because long-term compatibility is way more important than love or lust,
Mm.
because it's not love,
Yeah.
it's lust.
You know, like I don't usually make videos on dating and everything you've seen, but I made a couple of videos on cousin marriages, which is okay.
Wait,
Which
what
is
was that? I don't even know.
okay. I'll show you that, and you can put it on here as well.
Yeah.
In Pakistan, cousin marriage is so common, like
Yeah.
so common. Like every third person you meet has done cousin marriage.
Yeah.
Every like they don't understand how the blood thing and all. It gets so worse when you marry your own cousin.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even talk about it, but I made a very funny video on that where I was like trolling them. They do cousin marriage and all, and I'm like, people actually related to that. Like, oh, I have also seen that. I've also seen that. So
I have seen that. I know people,
like
yeah.
every single person has seen how cousin marriages looks like, and people actually do it. And you know what their excuse is? Like, they say they do cousin marriages so that there won't be any divorce. That's their view, because according to them, they say like, if the couple is having a fight, their families could come and settle everything. But
Yeah.
see the other things as well. See the negative things as well of cousin
But
marriages.
also, if a couple is having a fight, you don't need the families to come in. Maybe the couple needs
It
to learn
happens
some
everywhere.
tools
In Desi families,
to
they
talk
come.
to each other, and then they don't have to get a divorce.
Exactly, yeah. But in cousin marriages, I can't even talk about it. It's so
Yeah,
gross.
that one is like
So
people do what they got to do, but I don't think that it's the healthiest
Exactly.
choice. But in terms of future proofing, I think as like a Gen Zer who is more into
Hookups and all.
who's not into hookups, I think something like this is good, right? It's a
Mhm.
good trend. Hopefully more people that you're interested in
Yeah.
will be asking you guys questions. Guys, we're actually going to be doing 2 episodes in the new year or in 2025 on this. So one is questions to ask before you get serious with someone.
Mhm.
And then 2 is questions to ask before you get married.
Yes, I want to add one thing on that.
Go.
It's just my point of view, okay? Don't blame me on that. It's just my point of view. So, if a guy or girl is very serious and they want to marry, the first or like start things they should do is involve the families. That's what I think they should do. If the guy and girl or both are serious into it, I think they should involve the families into it. Especially if
But
you're
what do you
dating.
mean by that? Like, what do you, involve the families in what way?
Involve the family so that there won't be like, I have seen so many relationships of my friends where they're dating for so long, so long, so long, especially in Indian culture. And at the end they say their astrology, Kundali is not matching.
Oh, well, that's stupid because they should have done that a long time before.
Exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
But like, so I think there's a balance to both things, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't know if we're in the generation that like we need to have our parents involved in our relationships in our first month or two. Because I don't think you are either. Did your parents know that you were with a girl 8
Actually,
years
they-
older than me?
Not that one. The other one. Okay.
Got him.
Okay. The other one they
Got
knew.
him.
Okay. If they see it, I'm
Got him.
not the 8-year-old one, but the other one. She was my age, of course. They knew.
I understood. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nuance to all of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, your parents don't need to know about every single relationship that you're with because you're still figuring it out.
That's also
But
true.
like when Luis
but if
and
you're
I,
very serious, then
yeah, but once you get serious,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Like
that's
when
of
Luis
course.
and I were dating, we had met each other's parents after a few months on Zooms. By like 8 months or so, when we were like, oh, we're serious, we had our parents meet over
fine.
Zoom.
Yeah,
like we
that's
did a
perfect.
group
That's
chat
exactly what I'm
and
saying.
that was it. But then they weren't like involved in our day-to-day decisions. It was just like family is important to both of us and we wanted them to be comfortable around each other. That was important because we were like, we wanted them to meet eventually and all that stuff. So balance, I
Mhm.
think, is sort of the
For
key.
me, like I am very, mama's boy. It's a very famous term. I'm that like I don't know if you know that reality show called Big Boss in
Yeah,
India.
yeah, I know Big
So
Boss.
actually last year I got offer from them to go to Big Boss, but the only reason, actually one of the
I
reason,
also got, not last
really,
year, but some years ago, that
yeah, yeah,
they were really chasing me to come on Big
yeah.
Boss.
But one of the biggest reason was because they wanted me to stay there for a while, and I was like, it would be so hard for me
Well,
without
yeah,
my parents because since childhood I grew up with my parents and I'm very much attached to them.
yeah.
So every decision I make, every step I take, I discuss it with my parents first. It's just my kind of thing,
Oh, that's
you know?
fair.
Yeah.
Listen, and everybody is different, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's cool. Like, I am not that.
Mm-hmm. Understandable,
I'm
yeah.
very close to my parents. I speak to them twice a day. They don't live here. They're
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, right now they're in India, but even when they're in Canada, I speak to them twice a day. But I also and I consult my mom a lot. But
Yeah,
I was definitely not going to tell her about every
absolutely.
person I dated and every hookup I had.
Oh
I
my
told
God.
her at some point to
Yeah,
stop
no one
listening to
should.
the
No, no,
podcast
no one
too,
should.
because I was like, don't do that to yourself.
Exactly.
But guys, I do think it's really important to ask questions of what you want. I don't think you need to figure out every single thing in your first date or first couple dates. But I think getting inquisitive of like, does somebody have ambition in their life? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do they have a plan for what they want to do? Um, I know it's like not a cute question, but like, are they educated? Because I know in America is a lot
Yes.
about like you don't have to be educated. And I agree, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to. But then, like, what's
You
the
need
plan?
ethics. Ethics is important. Even without education, ethics
Totally.
and respect.
Yeah. And just like, but like, okay, if you're not educated, what's your plan? I think is still important because, again, it's not cute to say, but love is not enough.
Mm.
And so it's not going to be enough that
To eat
they
food.
want to be a billionaire.
Mm.
Well, what's the plan to being a billionaire if you didn't finish school, which
Yeah.
is totally
Also, there's
cool.
another famous saying in India is like, love cannot feed you.
It's true,
It's true.
though.
It's
It's
true. Yeah.
true. And
Exactly.
when people like, it always bugs me when people say, like, oh, money isn't everything. I used to be like that when
Mm.
I was very young.
Money is a part of it.
No, but I'll say, like, then I was poor. I was cut off from my parents
Yeah.
when I was like in my late teens. And I came to America on my own. I
Oh, wow.
came with my own money. The little I had been working since I was 15 years old at
Great.
Pizza Hut and all this stuff. I have had like such little money, guys. Like I remember like moving to America and like being down to my last $400 and thinking I would have to go work at, Flash
Mm.
Dancers, which was a gentleman's club as a cocktail waitress
Oh, wow.
because I was like, how am I going to make money?
Mm.
Like I had just come and all this conversation about visas is happening. I didn't have my work visa at the time. So
Yeah.
I was just like, how am I going to survive?
Mm.
And so when people say shit like money doesn't matter, I'm like, go fuck yourself. You have not been poor.
True.
Like if you've been poor, you understand that money matters and it does afford you a quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And finances are one of the biggest reasons people get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not
Absolutely.
just finances of not having money, it's how people save money and don't save money.
Mm-hmm.
Like Indians are very good at saving money.
True.
Probably a little too much.
That's why Indian Americans earns the most in America. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Indians. Yeah.
It's of the minority
Minorities.
groups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. They just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's another one. This is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a trend happening, guys, in 2025. I think you should all be on the lookout for this one. Throning is in 2025, which means people are dating up for access, influence, social climbing. Dating somebody because they have a more affluent life. And so you're getting access to that affluent life.
Oh, this happens to me so many times.
Does it?
So many times. Like, I'm not targeting anyone, but it happens to girls as well, guys, both. They date people only because of their fame and money.
That I could think is
happens.
also a very LA thing for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. It happens all the time to me.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. I can imagine because people also want to come to events with you. They then want to live the lifestyle that you're having.
which is another reason why I have to be super cautious. Like this is one of the biggest thing I see. Like, is the other person is trying to use me or no? Is it actually a genuine person or no? Which is why I always say one thing for me. It's not a filmy line, but looks doesn't matter for me. Efforts matters for me. It's not a filmy line. I actually believe in that.
No, it's true. I mean, Oprah says it too. Love
Mm.
is an action. It's a
Yes.
verb, so
It's
it's an
not about how
action.
you look or something. It's not
Yeah,
about.
it's and I tell people that too, like um men, sorry, you guys tend to like word vomit a lot
Mm.
more. So when you're on a date, you'll just say anything,
Yeah,
right? You're just like, "Oh
I
my God,
agree.
you're so beautiful. Like we could have amazing babies together. Oh my
Yeah,
God, like those blue eyes on our kid would
yeah.
be amazing." She's thinking, "Oh my God, he's thinking of the future." He's literally just looking at the blue eyes, going like, "I can't stop thinking
Yes.
about it." So I always tell people focus on the actions, not the
Actions.
words.
True.
The actions and the words need to line up. So it's one thing that he's talking about your blue eyes, but then and talking about your future babies. But is he asking you on date 2?
Mm.
That's what you should look
Exactly,
for.
100% true.
So this though throning, I don't know if that's like a 25 trend. I feel like that's been going on forever since time.
Ever, yeah. Even in 90s as well. Like,
No, forever. I mean,
like
gold digging is what it used
it's
to be called,
gold
right?
digging, and
Like, or
also, yeah, like if a man is earning that much, okay, that's you can take my
yeah.
daughter, it happens everywhere.
But it's also flip. Like I can see it can probably this probably affects men more
Mm.
because women tend to in general make less money than men do, and so it probably is like a lot of
Mm.
dating rich people for whatever. I think also conversely, men can use women for more, she's the trophy and she's the person that he can take around and
Yes.
that gives him a different image and
Mm-hmm.
look. So it goes both ways. But it's this idea of prioritizing material wealth versus an emotional connection.
Absolutely, yeah.
I hate myself sometimes because I never did this. And I have had opportunities with like the biggest Bollywood stars in the world,
Yeah.
huge celebrities, fucking Olympian athletes. I used to work at MTV, so I had tons of celebs come through all the time, and they would proposition and be like, "I'll take you here, and we can go here, and you'd be on this carpet and that carpet." And I'm like, "I'm so stupid." I was like, "Why didn't I do that?" Um,
No, you did the right thing. You did the right thing.
yeah, listen,
Refusing them.
my conscience is happy. My fucking wallet is not. Okay. But they still say that this works. So experts actually say that throning still works for people, as in the agenda that they have that it's going to move people forward, sadly,
But it's like
works.
only short-term agendas. Like with these things, I don't think you can move very forward. Like
Yeah.
very move forward. You can only do it for like a couple of months or any
I mean, if
year.
you get married to them, you get a few years,
See, like if a guy and girl is using someone, let's say if a guy and girl is using you, that guy or girl can use someone else too, even after marrying. So
Yeah.
this is also one of the things people should see.
Yeah. Aw, Shane, you're such a good little boy. This is good. Okay, well, listen, what about this one? Because you are a little bit more traditional. So let's see.
Mhm.
They say that women are more into guys that get it, which means having male best friends. So I had a male best friend, but would you ever feel comfortable with that?
I'm gonna answer a very conservative answer, okay? I'm a conservative. Okay. It is a very conservative answer, but I think it's one of the biggest red flag.
Yeah.
It's if a guy has a female best friend or if a girl has a male best friend, it's a red flag. It is a red flag for me at least.
For you, yeah.
But I know for other people it might not. But for me, it is a red flag.
I think
Not because. See, I have experienced that for myself with my ex. The guy best friend, like I can tell about women, of course. The guy best friend, as a guy, I know the intentions of the other guy. I know it very well. Okay, so that's one of the reasons. Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was definitely going to say is like having somebody, the only way that they're truly your best friend is like nobody actually has feelings there, you know, and nothing has really happened. I think I have one of my best friends is a guy. He's been my best friend since I moved to America, and he's my cousin's cousin. No, he's one of my other best friend's cousin. That's how we all became. She introduced me, and I used to date people who were not comfortable with him. Nothing ever happened ever with us. He liked me when he was a kid, like he was like 19. And like within 2 times we all went out, his cousins were like, "You fucking idiot, she'll never go for you." And he never liked me, never tried again, never anything.
You know, sorry.
And no. And I'll say he was recently at our wedding. Luis knows him. They're really close. His girlfriend is, she knows that I'm his like female best friend. But I think if you do have that, it's rare. And you have to always be respectful of boundaries. So for example, I know, guys, this is different, but Luis and I, like, we can look at each other's phone. We don't have access. Like, I don't have his codes or whatever, but like if it's there, he can look at my phone, I look at his phone. So he can always see, like, when my best friend calls, I keep him on speaker and I'm like, "Hey man, whatever," and we're walking and talking. So he can hear the whole conversation. And same, like when I meet his girlfriend, I'm respectful of boundaries. It's not like we sleep in the same bed or some, you know, some weird shit like that. So I think like you can have it, but you still always have to be respectful of boundaries of your partner also, because you don't want them to not feel good.
Of course, yeah, that's true. That's true. Also, like my breakup, which was I've only dated 2 girls. One of my breakup was because of this reason, because of her male best friend, which I feel insecure. So this was my experience actually. And I've also seen most of my friends having the same problem and ended up breaking up with each other. So this is just my personal experience.
I do think, listen, it works both ways, right? The person who if let's use the girl example. If a girl has a male best friend, she has to do her part to also make sure her partner feels comfortable and safe and secure and whatever. That is also part of our responsibility as a partner. It's also the guy's responsibility to work on his security and to trust and to go like, "Hey, has my partner given me reason to?" If there is something that's making you question, then there's something deeper going on there. If somebody's giving you real signs, I think that's valid. If they're not, then it might be more introspection and going like, or communicating, what do you need to feel comfortable in that situation? I agree, though, that most guys
have different
are catching feelings or playing the long game or whatever it is. You know, I got very lucky because mine was recently at my wedding, and then we were all like, you know, he's known him forever now. So, but still, it's because of boundaries and knowing that, like, how to make the other person feel safe. Do you drink?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. So this tracks with Gen Z.
Yes.
They say Gen Z don't like drinking as much. Is that true?
No, Gen Z loves drinking. This is total opposite.
Oh my gosh. No, everything I always read is like Gen Z is like one of the driest generations.
You know, one thing I would say, Gen Z shows different thing, but from inside they're totally different.
Really?
100%. They are Gen Z people. Okay, I'm a Gen Z. They would kill me after that. But Gen Z people are the most fakest people. Very fake. They use fake accent to talk with each other. Like, this is not the accent. You know, like,
really?
This is not their accent. I've seen them. This is not their accent. They just want to be cool, whether it's a guy or a girl. They just want to be cool. That's it.
Yeah.
They will drink to look cool. They will smoke to look cool. They will do, vape is very common.
Vaping, I know.
It's very dangerous for health as well. But people do, like, especially Gen Zs do.
Yeah. Which that one I do think is stupid, because I'm just like, for the generation that has the most knowledge in the world, you're dumb, because that shit's
Gen
killing
Zs don't
you.
have knowledge. No.
Like, that shit's killing you. Like, vaping is the equivalent of cigarettes, which was so disgusting. when
Yeah.
we were kids. So I'm just shocked that that's a thing. But they say dry dating is going to make a splash in 2025. So they say 39% of people want sober dates. And it says, wow, this I don't understand. This is Tinder's stats. So it says 39% want sober dates. 21% of Tinder users, guys, said they were looking for a hot rodent, which was an unconventionally attractive boyfriend in 2025. And 23% of men said they're looking for a black cat, a girl who is introverted, mysterious.
You talk about drinking, right? One thing I want to add. In a club, when a guy comes to a girl, what's the first thing he asks?
Can I buy you a drink?
Yeah. So you got the answer. These peoples nowadays.
But I don't feel like Gen Z even goes up to anybody at a club or a lounge
No,
or
they do
bar.
all the time.
What do you mean? I went out to a fucking lounge here in LA that was like all Gen Z kids. Nobody spoke to anybody. And two, why do you guys all dress in sweatpants all the
clubs I
time?
go to, Gen Zs and the young people, they're just like
Are
girls
they in
talking to guys.
sweatpants too all the time?
It depends, but Gen Z people,
God.
especially college peoples, they are just like vaping and sharing the vape with the girl or a guy. It's so common. And the first thing they ask, "Can I buy you a drink?" That's one pickup line every guy uses on a girl.
Yeah.
Every guy has
So
once used
it's
it at
like
least.
not a, so this whole
So I don't agree with
it's
this
the
or-
sober generation is a lie.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
fucking
big
liars.
lie.
Well, this has been interesting because, like, overall, in terms of what seem to be the trends for 2025, I find a lot of it has to do with people are feeling stressed. Like, some of it feels very finance related, this idea of throning or wanting stability and trying to ask these questions. And I think that says a lot about the economy, right? Like, and where people lie economically, because they're not feeling like, especially Gen Z, like, you guys don't feel like you have a fucking future because
I agree.
of money, like, and the same job security isn't there. And so I find that people are making pretty conservative decisions now. Like, I'm talking traditionally conservative decisions of, there's a movement called the trad wife happening, the traditional wife, where young girls are okay staying at home now because they're like, you go out and work. And I think it's like people are just feeling super fucking tired and economically drained. And so they're looking for like stability in a partner more than they ever have before.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of true. And Gen Z people, as I said, they're show something else from inside. They are totally different people. And see, Gen Z people are the most confused people.
That's true.
They do something, say something. You can never expect anything from Gen Z peoples. That's why I say never.
But I will say,
there should be no
listen,
expectation.
I'll give you, I'll throw you guys a bone because I think every generation is that. I think it's just the age. Like, when you're in your 18 to 25s, like, you're stupid. You're dumb. Yeah, you're dumb too, Cheyenne. I just called you out on 5 things during this podcast. You're dumb too, okay? You're not as mature as you think you are. Okay, when you get your insecurity in check,
guys.
then you will.
I am Gen Z.
Exactly.
Still,
He's like, I am Gen Z.
I am Gen Z, but at least I am not in that fake culture of Gen Z.
Yeah. Except you're like,
Fake culture.
like, I'm Gen Z. I am very wise, but I'm super insecure.
I'm publicly announcing that I'm no longer part of Gen Z community. Keep me away from them.
But I'll say, I think it's like an age thing for sure, because nobody knows what they're doing between 18 to 25. It's a dumb age. And then you're still fucking figuring it out. And like, people are still figuring it out way later in their life now. So like, I'll throw you guys a bone.
Yeah, in dating, I say one thing. Only date if you are confident. And between 18 to 25, if you're not confident, don't date.
But that's probably why there's so much hookup culture.
Yeah.
Because they're not trying to date. They're just trying to fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
But that, guys, is hard because most people catch feelings. So that's where that gets really thing.
True.
But I think, I do think, because I have been doing this podcast for many years, and I see the trends change every year. And the trends always change based off people's age. Because like, as dating app users age, their trends age. which is now like the Gen Zers are starting to get to that age where they're like, oh, I think I should start worrying about more things than his dick size. Like, I think I should see, like, does he have a plan? What does he want to do? What do I want to do? You know, are we going to be poor? Like, those things matter as you get older, right? Like, they don't matter to you when you're 18. They're just not gonna. So I do think that there's some age factor.
Yes, absolutely. Age factor is there. And as I say, like, only date if you are fully confident. Do not waste each other's time. Time is important. So do not let any, if you're not serious about them, just tell it on the first date, so that other person don't get like, what do you call, feelings and all that, you know? So that's very important.
Well, guys, you got a free dating advice from SHAYAN Krishna here. So, SHAYAN, thank you so much for being on the podcast. You're not totally done. So we do something called 6 questions.
Rapid fire.
Yeah, don't think too much about it.
Part.
Are you ready? Okay, SHAYAN Krishna, here are your 6 questions.
Okay.
What is the first thing you notice about a potential partner?
Respect, communication.
Okay. What is one deal breaker?
What do you mean?
Like one thing that would end a relationship, like deal breaker. Done.
Guy best friend. No, just kidding.
That tracks?
Yeah, guy best friend.
Okay. What turns you on?
Turns me on. Physical touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are one of your strengths and weaknesses in relationships?
Weakness, I get emotionally attached very easily, very, very, very easily. Strength is, what's my strength? I cannot think about any strength. Like, I know when to say no. Like, I know like how to communicate. If I'm serious, I'll say I'm serious. If I'm not, no.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm
very straightforward. Like in every, not only in dating, in every matter, I'm very straightforward, very much.
That's a good quality to have. SHAYAN, what is love?
Love is respect and understanding. Filmy line.
Very filmy line. I thought you were going to say love is effort.
Yeah, love is effort too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Effort.
Besides I love you, what 3 words would you want your partner to tell you?
No words. Actions. No words. No words. No words. No words. Even if like words, you can say anything.
Maybe
like,
those are your words. No more words.
No more words. Yeah. No more words.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a very unique one. We never heard that
Yes.
before. Well, SHAYAN, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can everyone find you and all your fun content?
They can find me on the Blonde Desi, and if they want to know about my whole story, which I didn't share too much about my experience, so they can Google my name, and it's everywhere on Google, so they can find more about me there.
Guys, all of SHAYAN's socials will be in the description of this episode, so make sure you follow him and follow us. We're also on social media. We're at Kinda Dating across the board. I'm at Natasha Chandel on Instagram and Facebook, Natasha.Chandel on TikTok. Thank you so much for downloading this episode.
Thank you, Natasha, for having me.
Wait, you're not totally done.
It was a great podcast.
Fucking ending.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Thank you guys for downloading this episode. If you like something you heard, screenshot the episode and tag us on social media. Finally, I know it seems tough out there, but just try. Till next time.
Bye.
Now you can go.
Thank you so much, Natasha. Thank you for having me.
This is so great.
Yeah.